And you're just a whiskey memory. Through the bottles and the smoke, you're the only thing I see. And I cling to the alcohol, 'cause I know it won't let me fall.
Welcome to Texas Local Live. My name is Ben Martinek, your host for the evening. Tonight, we're doing a little interview here with Brent Querry. How you doing, Brent?
How's it going? Good, man. How are you?
Good to see you again, man. You came
Yes,
back
sir.
here about a month ago, played some tunes for us, and now we got you up here to interview and play some more tunes for us.
Absolutely, I'm
We're
ready.
looking forward to it, man. So what's been going on? What's been happening?
Man, just on the road. All the time, on the road.
Just kicking it up, huh?
Oh, yeah, just a lot of miles. We got a new truck about 2 months ago, and I've put 10,000 miles on it in 2 months. So
Very dang, man.
on the road all the time.
You're kicking butt. So you got full band going with you around? Or was
No,
it?
actually, Thursday, I was planning on getting my first full band rehearsal together, and then I got called to come do a gig in San Antonio. So another week awaits.
There you go.
Yeah, so
You're
I'm
waiting on
trying, man. I'm hopefully got a prospective slot up at Silver Saloon as soon as I get everything tight. And so that's what I'm shooting for.
Good.
And till then, man, I'm just on the road.
Just on the road, cool.
Yeah.
Got some stuff going. Well, we want to first kind of get to know you a little bit. What got you into music? Why are you choosing this career? What's going on with that?
Man, I started music when I was 4th grade.
Yeah.
And I'm classically trained.
Okay.
So I was in the orchestra as a 4th grader.
Nice.
And so I started that. And
What'd you
then,
play?
Viola. I started
Viola.
on viola.
Okay.
Yep. And then I started there. And then 5th grade, I wanted to go to an Irish fiddle camp.
Nice.
And so I taught myself how to play violin.
That's
and then
awesome.
went on to be to my freshman year in high school. And then, I don't know, just something about it I wasn't feeling anymore. And honestly, my grades were slipping. And my mom was like, we're going to transfer you if you don't, get your
better
grades
pick up
up, and
your-
you're going to have to quit music on this, that, and the other. And I was like, whatever, I don't care. And I
Oh.
didn't think that's what I wanted to do at the
Rebel.
time. And so we ended up quitting and then transferred high school as my sophomore year. And then I guess it's probably about halfway through my senior year. And you know how as musicians, we always have those friends before we start. And they're like, oh, yeah, you're such a good singer, this, that, and the other. And you're like, well,
Yeah.
whatever. You don't pay no mind to it. And
Yeah.
so my friend was like, hey, record this song and send it to me for my birthday. And I was like, okay, cool. What song is it? And it was That Makes Two of Us by Eric Willis. And so that was the first song I ever recorded and put out for the public ears. And it ended up, I got a lot of traction off of it. And so I thought, maybe there's something to this. And my dad, excuse me, my dad had this Esteban infomercial guitar.
Yes.
And you could throw a cat through the action on it. It's so high. And so one day I was like, can I play it? And he was like, yeah, sure. And so I went and blew the dust off of it and ended up sitting in front of the computer for hours upon hours every day after I get home from school while I was home alone and just learning chords and learning songs.
Figuring it
and
out, man. Yeah.
kept posting covers. And then I guess April of probably 2016. Yeah, 2016, I posted my first original online, and it ended up getting a lot of traction and a lot of attention. And so ever since then, man, I just started off slow, and then I ended up moving and trying to pursue it that way. And I didn't have any money, so you can't really do it when you have no money.
No,
But
you gotta
just
go
kept
on.
going, and here we are. And let's see, so I'm going on 7 days straight this week. I
Very
have like
cool.
1 day off, so
Very cool.
definitely it's stressful and tiring. But I tell everybody, I'm like, oh, I'm so tired and so stressed out all the time. They're like, you asked for it. I'm like, yeah, I guess I did. This is
Yeah.
kinda
Oh,
what,
you kind of.
this is definitely what I got in for it.
You've got to do that, man. That's key to this industry.
Yeah,
man. You got to go
definitely.
out and hustle, or whatever word you want to call it, but you got to get out there and do it.
Yep.
And you're there 7 days a week. If you're there 5 days a week, I mean, that's great.
Oh,
3
yeah.
days a week is, I think, the minimum to even
Yeah,
try to break
good
into anything.
average.
Yeah, if you want
Yeah.
to get into something. But dude, that's awesome. So cool. So you said you wrote a song for your first time about 4 years ago, 3 years ago, something like that?
So it'll be
Or 2 years
It
ago?
was 2 years
Okay,
in
sorry,
April.
8/16, yeah.
Yeah.
So when did you write that, and how did you go about actually forming your first song? Like, how did you go about that?
It really came out of nowhere. So I sat down one day, and like I said, I had been doing these covers pretty consistently. And one day I sat down, and I don't know if it was a breakup or I really couldn't tell you what
Yeah, it's
happened.
gotta- it's gonna be something, right? It's
I
gonna
couldn't
be
tell you what happened right before it, but I sat down one day and it's called Love Cigarette. And so if you never heard it, it should be below this video somewhere on YouTube.
Yes.
But I sat down one day and I was like, man, I haven't done a song. I haven't covered something in a while. So I started writing, and I'd always had this thing in my head, and it was like, oh, smoking a cigarette's kind of like love. And, you light it, and it's all, well and good at the beginning, and then you just keep smoking, and you get this buzz off of it, and then poof, it's gone, and you don't know what to do. And so it just started there, and I had been mulling it over for quite some time, and I decided one day that I was going to write a song about it. So the first day I wrote the first 2 verses in the chorus the first day, and then the next day I got home, and I was thinking, I was like, man, I haven't posted a cover in a while. People are going to lose interest. And so I just sat down and banged out the second half of the song like it was nothing, which never happens.
Yeah.
And posted it, and I think it's got like 500,000 views right now. And so it definitely not what I was expecting, and it's kind of a Parker McCollum tune. He hates High Above the Water, hated it anyway, and it ended up being one of his most popular songs, and that's kind of the way I feel about it. But I'm trying to get a little more back into it when I perform now, so people can kind of connect more.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's so cool. That's a rarity too, to have something like that that comes out of your, comes to your mind, and then boom, it hits. You never know, right? You never know what people are going to be into at any given time, and that's a tough thing. But the beauty of the digital age is that you can throw it up anytime, anywhere,
you can
man.
Take it down at any time you want.
And you can move on. You can take notes, and
y'all, Kane and Bryce. If you don't know Kane and Bryce, go check them out. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram,
you should
YouTube.
Definitely check him out. He's
Good
been
guy.
on a few times. Yeah,
big bearded guy. You'll know when you see him. But no, he actually told me last night. It's funny that he said that. We were on the phone last night, and he was saying, you got to get out of this rut of not wanting to play everything that you write. He said, because you're going to hate probably more than you love of what you write. He said, but just because you hate it doesn't mean everybody else is going to hate it.
Yep.
You may write something that you hate, and everybody else is like, this is the greatest thing I've ever heard.
That is
and
wise.
you have no idea what's going to skyrocket you. And so I definitely took that to heart, and it changed my way of thinking quite a bit. And so I have to kind of change my mindset when it comes to writing to overcome that.
Yeah, but there's a healthy balance of that, because we're all artists, and you guys are all artists as well, and that's the thing. I think it goes to the wayside. Being a songwriter, sounds okay. It's another songwriter. No, it's it's an art form, and there's and even just a lyricist is a songwriter. Mm-hmm. That's on its own regard. Putting music to that and putting melody and structure to that is a totally different beast.
Yeah.
And in doing so, you're there's some vulnerability with that. You're like, oh man, are people going to dig this? Mm-hmm. Is this something that people want to hear? And then that's where you come to that. I love that advice from Kanan. Just put it out there.
See what
no
happens.
telling, and especially nowadays.
We were just talking about it over there, and he was, I forget what he was talking about, but I've had this conversation with multiple people, and one of my friends that's been helping me out a lot through all this, he told me, he said, you got to understand that, there's all this ideological stuff that goes along with being a musician. You can have the passion for it and love what you do and sing with all this emotion, and that's cool. And you want to change the world, but if you don't understand that there's a business side to it, then you're gonna just crash and burn immediately, if not soon after. And so, which is because if you can't, push yourself, market yourself, that kind of thing, then you're not going to get to do the ideological stuff for very long. Yeah. And so if you love it, you got to, like you said, that healthy balance.
Yeah, and that's why people hire out,
exactly,
different people to help
when
you
they
out,
can
managers.
Afford to.
Or just friends that are willing to go out and do the extra work for you and to really push for you. I mean, that's, huge if you can pull on that. But it is a business at the end of the day. If you're going to open up an ice cream stand or truck or whatever, you're going to have a brick and mortar place or retail, you have to promote it. You have to find people that are interested, because there are people there. I mean, let's just be honest. Yeah. You get the whole world. I mean, even if you don't, you get just Texas at your fingertips. Millions of people
we have several friends. My girlfriend, we sit and talk to him. We were talking to him last night, and she was like, I'm from Colorado, and I've moved down here, and I've never seen anything like this. There's no music scene-wise. There's nothing like what goes on here, and it's just, it's a family. That's all it is. Yeah. We all love each other, and the business is about helping each other any way that you can, and I think, with the exception of maybe a handful, which honestly most of them I probably haven't even had contact with, everybody's real friendly and wants to, stick a hand out any time that they can and just pull you up with them. So that's what I love about it.
That was going to be my segue into the scene here. I like to get artist perspective of like what it's like out there. And since you're hustling, multiple days a week, 5 to 7 a week, what's it like out there? I mean, like you said, there's camaraderie there, obviously.
Absolutely.
What else are you noticing?
There's no denying it. And I mean, obviously there's this underlying competition, if you want to call it that, because there is the business side.
You got to be competitive.
You don't ever talk about it, but
it makes you better. Yeah.
Right, yeah, and man, Garrett Thompson told me, we were at LJT this a couple weeks ago, and we were sitting there, we just finished jamming for a while, and he said, if you, what Wow, I totally lost my train of thought.
Yeah, you're good. OJT, have you been?
Yep. Well, I'll come back to it.
Yeah, it's cool.
But no, man, it's just you go out there and whether it's a song swap or an acoustic deal, and it's just you, or if you're playing full band or whatever it is, it's everybody's there to help.
Yeah.
And everybody's there. Of course, you get that jerk every once in a while that's like, man, whatever, I'm just doing my own thing. And
Yeah.
But you talk to them, and you know it gets annoying especially for the bigger artists, and they're like, man, all these people come up to me all the time. But that's what I strive not to be like, because I know, how I do that to bigger artists. Sometimes, you look up to them, and it's.
Yeah.
In their head, they're just like, dude, I'm just doing what you're doing. I have no clue what's going on. It's 100% luck. But
yeah, but it's just about how you approach that. If you approach them as a fanboy and you're all, hey, oh man, I love your work, they get that every day. You got to realize,
definitely.
and fans too. But if you come up to them with like, hey, I enjoy what you do, but what do you do that makes this happen?
Right.
Or especially young artists out there that are doing this, or whatever camera we're looking at.
Yeah.
Whoever's out there doing that, you got to know to ask questions. It's just like networking. It's just like finding in any other business form.
Yeah.
You have to go out and figure out what the greats are doing to get better.
Exactly.
And if you don't do that, then you're going to kind of be limited on what you're naturally able to do.
Glad you said that. I remember what I was going to
There
say.
it is, yes.
But Garrett, he was saying if you're in a room of musicians and you're the best one there, you're in the wrong group of people.
Yes.
And that's my thing. Is
Yes.
Me and Cannon's one of my closest friends, and I've known him. Honestly, I've only known him for a year. We played a gig together, and that's how we met.
Yeah.
And he's just both of us. We talk like we know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And some of it sticks, but that's just the way it is, man. And you have to surround yourself with these people, because you can look and say, what are they doing that I'm not doing? Why are they more successful than me? What can I do differently, or add, or change, or stop doing to go to that next level?
You got to be ready for growth.
Yeah.
And it's fine to be in that room. You're going to be in the rooms every now and then where you may be the best artist.
Exactly. Yeah.
You need to understand you're in that room,
and even
then
when
give advice.
Right. And even when
help.
that's not like, you're not learning, maybe someone else is learning from you.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's positives to all of it, but.
Yeah. Oh man, that's everywhere. That's exactly the case. So live and learn, move forward, know to grow.
Yeah.
And just do it. And that's the other kicker too, is that we tell people, and like you said, you hustle and you go out there, do it. That's, I guarantee you 80% of the time, it's just a matter of just doing something and going out and booking it, booking a show, making yourself vulnerable to that, and learning from it. Because you're going to find shows where you get bank and money, and you're going to find shows where you make zilch, but the room was packed. And so,
And there's rooms where you get zilch and there's 6 people in there.
Yeah.
But you know
and
what?
you're still hustling.
We have a good term for it. Vance Bruce was another one of my good buddies. We sit there and say, you know what? I played a brewery in Athens probably 2 weeks ago, and there's probably 8 people in there the whole time.
Yeah.
But you know what? They paid me, and I got to sit there and rehearse for 2.5 hours. You know? So they're paying me to practice. By all means. I'm honing my craft, and I got free beer and food and 8 people. And but you know what? It's funny you say that, because there was a guy in there, and he's from Athens. It's Thunderbridge Photography. So if you watch this, and he was just taking pictures. Just for nothing, just out there doing his thing, just like we do.
Yep.
And it really caught my eye, and so I talked to him, and he was like, man, I'll email you these pictures, and if you wanted to do business in the future, then you got my card and you got my contact info, and that's just how.
You've seen my portfolio? Now you got
exactly.
it? Yeah.
And even with just musicians, that's still how it goes. You meet people and you're like, man, you want to be friends? Cool. You want to do music? Here's my card. You got my number. If not, no worries.
And that is the beauty, and that is literally the beauty. And if you weren't there and you weren't putting your effort, or your buddy wasn't putting their effort into that,
music is 100%. Music is 2 things I tell everybody. It's a hurry up and wait industry, and it doesn't matter. Something good is always going to come out of everywhere that you go.
Yep.
It doesn't matter if it's a person, or, it could be one person that said that here's one song that tells 30 other people.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. If nothing else, it's practice. You're getting better.
Always practice.
It's always
learning
something
sound.
good.
You're learning how to do live gigs on your own. There's so many there's so many things you can get into with that. Yeah. So let's hear a little bit about what you got coming up too. I know you're a busy man. So what else you have coming up this year?
Man, I'm doing. I have a map in my bedroom, and it's a full map of Texas. And every time I play a gig in a new city, I put an X where the venue is. So it's definitely starting to fill up.
Awesome.
But I do this, and then I also play fiddle for a couple other bands on the side.
Cool.
And then Jesse Rasnan texted me about a week ago and asked me to fill in. It's basically just a glorified roadie for Prophets and Outlaws. They played at Kessler Theater in Dallas on Saturday, and that was. You're talking about fangirling. I don't fangirl often. It's kind of in our musicians' code of conduct. You don't fangirl, but it's hard, man. They're one of my biggest influences, and it was tough.
That's
to
cool.
not be weird about it. I was like, oh, y'all are so cool. I love your music. But no, man, I've been doing that and playing fiddle, and that's definitely opening up some new networking opportunities and another revenue stream. And so just next is hopefully. Well, I will say this. Hopefully, you didn't hear it here, but hopefully at the next month or so, at the end of June, I'm trying to cut "Love Cigarette." I'm gonna release it as my first single. So get something on the books on iTunes and Spotify and Pandora and on and on. But hopefully that'll be out in the next month, too.
Yeah.
You know how it goes.
End of summer, maybe.
Yeah. But once that happens, I'm going to try and get a full band before that. That way, hopefully that'll gain some traction and it will pick up for some more gigs and I can go out and not just do acoustic shows anymore.
I was going to say, get some more gigs.
So definitely single and then full band and then, man, who knows? When it comes to being a musician, you have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah, no, you seem to be doing all the right things, man.
It's definitely a life on your toes.
Yeah, no, you seem to be doing all the right. I mean, like I said, you're following the steps if there are any steps.
Right.
And
I wish somebody would write a book. It'd be great.
And it would be wrong in a week.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You could
somebody
write a
would be
book.
like, no, that's
you
not.
You can
how
write a book, but no, this is the other way you do it. Yeah, it's never-ending process. So, where you can find you online? Tell us social plugs.
Yeah, so I am on Twitter. If I can remember Adam, I think it's _BrentQ Music. I'm on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook. I have a personal and a business Facebook.
Okay.
I don't have a website yet. I'm working on that. It all takes money. Which is low.
Oh man, talk to me after. We'll get you hooked up. We'll figure out how to do a free site. You just gotta buy the domain, but we can help you get it set up at least.
Definitely. And I'm putting merch is going on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
And then as soon as the website's out, I do have merch made, stickers, koozies, T-shirts, etc. So that'll be another avenue that you can go purchase those.
Cool.
And then once music's out, it'll be on the website too.
It's been moving at that point, man.
Yeah, but for right now, you're stuck to YouTube.
There you go. Well, Brent, thanks for chatting with us, man, with the interview side of things. We're going to get some music from this gentleman and a few other artists here a little bit later. If you're not down here yet and you're watching us live, we're at the ranch in Las Colinas, Texas tonight for Tuning Texas on this Monday evening. Got a full house here, people eating and drinking and have a good time, so y'all stick around as well. And we'll be playing some tunes a little bit later. Brent, thanks for hanging out, man.
Appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah.
Sitting here at the bar, thinking about the moon and stars, thinking about a universe without you. So pour me another glass to help make this memory pass. Try to see the future, but I can only taste the past. And as I stumble home, trying to run away to your memories gone, and you're just a whiskey memory. Through the bottles and the smoke, you're the only thing I see, and I cling to the alcohol, 'cause I know it won't let me fall. Tonight the last thing I wanna see is your whiskey memory. And they say all's fair in love and war, but each sip of your memory leaves me wanting more. And everybody says time heals pain, but the clock behind the bar always stays the same. And as I stumble home, trying to run away to your memories gone, and you're just a whiskey memory. Through the bottles and the smoke, you're the only thing I see, and I cling to the alcohol, 'cause I know it won't let me fall. Tonight the last thing I wanna see is your whiskey memory. Tonight the last thing I wanna wanna seize your whiskey memory.